started. Oops. Welcome, everyone. Perfect. Hopefully everyone's having a good day so far. Let us know where you're coming from in the chat. Say hello. Glad to have you with us. Just making sure we're all set here for you folks today. I hope everyone's having a lovely day. We've got some folks up from Alaska. Hey, welcome. Arkansas, Edmonton, Toronto, Washington. Glad to see everyone here. I hope you're having a great first week of November. Where is the time gone? I don't understand this, guys. I just don't get it. It just flies by. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Hello, Guam. Good morning to you. New Zealand area. Hello, Victoria, BC. I hope everyone's staying safe, happy, healthy as we rock into this November. Glad to have folks joining us. If you're joining us, please make sure to pop your chat over to everyone. This way, you can obviously, we want you to be able to participate and have fun with the community. If you're just sending it over to host and panelist, I get to see your fabulous messages, but we want to make sure that everyone can see your fabulous messages. So, got some folks in from the Bronx, Virginia. Welcome all. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I hope if you went out trick-or-treating, you were successful. Don't know if folks were able to join us last week. We had Dr. Regina Reese on, and she was, of course, sporting all of her fantastic hats. Fantastic to have her. We talked a little bit about some great stories you can incorporate within your classroom, different techniques, things like that. And it was just tons of fun. So I'm excited for today. I think we're going to have just as much fun, that's for sure. So hello, Indiana. Welcome, Wisconsin, Ohio. Great. I'm glad to have folks joining us here. We'll get started in just 2 or 3 minutes here. Let everyone get in. I hope your week's been well. I hope that, the children aren't too disruptive on this Thursday. I was having a great conversation with one of my coworkers. I should say she's a previous coworker of mine who still works in the classroom. We try to catch up on a, bi-weekly basis when we can, have chats, catch up on what's happening within her center, how everything's going, the waves of illness, of course, through her center. 'Tis the season. If there's any folks as well, by the way, who are celebrating Diwali, happy Diwali. Hope you're having a lovely day. As we get into, hello, Florida, Alberta area. Welcome all. We'll get started in just a minute or two more. If you haven't already as well, folks, please do join our private Facebook group. We are going to be, Kyle will drop that link in the chat. Sorry. We'd love to have you joining us, participating within the community there. Fantastic community, ideas floating around, things like that. It's a great place to come, and we'd love to have you. Just make sure there's a couple of questions there that are set up to make sure that the community, of course, stays safe. We want that piece for you guys. So please do answer those questions. And as well, if you haven't, please do nominate an educator. I know Ms. Kyle will be talking about this a little bit later, but we have a great little thing happening on social media, and we'd love to have you do so. Hello, Julie. I love Prerna too. Very excited to have you joining us here. We'd love to spotlight you. So please do fill out the form. We'd love yourself, or if you want to nominate somebody else, we'd love to spotlight you here at Hi Mama. So we are recording, folks. We are recording as always. You'll be able to watch later. Don't fret there. We'll give it a minute or two more, and then we'll jump in. Fun of today. Welcome if you're just joining us. Pleasure to have you. Some folks in here from the Toronto area. Hello, Minnesota. Welcome all. Illinois. Glad to have you folks. Everyone's enjoying their day. It's a bit overcasty, at least where I am here in Toronto. We've been going between the mix, that's for sure. Hello, Massachusetts, Indiana, Texas, PA. Welcome all. All right, one more minute, folks. Then we're gonna jump in. Can't wait any longer. Need to have some fun for today. We've got a jam-packed hour. We want to make sure to get you guys out on time as well. So, hello Niagara, DC, more folks from PA, Trinidad. Welcome all. Glad to have you with us. Alrighty. Hello, the Dominican. All right, folks. It's time to get into the fun of today. I'm very excited to be welcoming back our special guests in a few minutes. If you're just joining us, please do make sure to pop your chat over from panelist and host to everyone. We want to make sure that you're participating in the community, having fun, and getting to see all the great tips, tricks, techniques that do come out of this fantastic community we do have on a regular basis. So thank you, thank you. Let's talk a little bit more about supporting emotional development. This is a huge thing in the classroom these days. It just in general, I should say, all the time. And we want to make sure that we have enough time to talk about this very, very important topic. But before we do, folks, I am not the face of legal or financial advice, and I guarantee you do not want me to be that person. At the end of the day, any changes you're looking to be making in your center, whether it's within your classroom and the center as a whole, just make sure you're consulting with the right people. So whether that be your, your licensing rep, a legal or financial advisor, board of directors, whoever you may need to go to before you make some big decisions, just make sure you're doing so before you make any of those big things going on. So we're going to start out with our land acknowledgement.
Hi Mama acknowledges that our main headquarters is situated in Toronto, Ontario, on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, and the Haudenosaunee and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. Toronto itself is a word that originates from the Mohawk word takaranto, meaning the place in the water where the trees are standing. As participants and guests in today's webinar, we are coming together from many different places around the world. We encourage you to learn about and acknowledge the land from which you participate.
And we're also just going to give a quick listen to our diversity and inclusion statement.
Hi Mama is committed to fostering an inclusive and welcoming environment for our employees, customers, and community. Hi Mama welcomes and celebrates individuals of all backgrounds, orientations, and identities. Our Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee aims to ensure we provide a safe environment for everyone to thrive while bringing their authentic selves to work. Our mission is to promote an inclusive workspace for all employees through education, discussion, and celebration of our differences. Embracing these differences while coming together with a common purpose is what makes our team extra special.
Couple of housekeeping pieces, folks. I know a couple of you have asked a little bit along the way, not to fret. We are recording. So if you do have to hit the road, life calls, we understand. We're going to provide the recording for you after in case you do miss anything. Hope you don't have to leave though. As well, if you need the CC tab, the closed captions, please do turn that on for yourself. We are recording with that on. So please, if you need it, utilize it there for yourself. Next up, For everyone who's in this live session today, we will be sending out a certificate to you with the recording. So just keep an eye out the slides will also be coming your way. Everything should be out in your inbox by early next week. So just be patient as we do roll all of those pieces out to you. And last but not least, if you're having any connection issues, I really hope you're not. But at the end of the day, if you are and you find that you're having some struggles, please do seek support.zoom.us. They are the best folks. They know their product the best, especially when there's something coming along with Zoom. I hate to say it, but I'm not IT. I have husband IT for a reason. So it's a great piece to have. Folks, if you've never been with us before, welcome. If you've never heard of Hi Mama, where have you been? I'm just kidding. Please, we'd love to be chatting with you, having some more conversations about how we can help you in your center, in your classroom, from assessments to activity planning to the front office, whatever it is you're doing. We would love to, having a conversation about how we can help you out, how we can be a good fit with you and work with you, of course. So please, Kaya just popped a link in the chat. We'd love for you to book some time, get to know us, get to know our team. There's a phenomenal group of people here, folks, and they're more than happy to help you along the way. So, and know as well, when you do join our team, our Hi Mama family is what we like to call it, that there's a whole support team here behind you. So you're not left alone by no means. There's a whole team here to help you with questions that come up or anything that you need directions with. They are here to help you along the way, and they're a fantastic group of people as well. So please, we'd love to be chatting with you. Know as well, there's tons, and I mean tons of free resources on our website, from our activities to all of our podcasts, from all of our blog posts to, of course, all of our webinars, you name it. There's so many things happening on our site. So please do take some time, check it out. There's a variety of ebooks on there as well. And know that you can go ahead and download all of those pieces and get pretty much everything there. Okay, so folks, we'd love, please do take some time to check us out. Last but not least, we're very proud to say we are a B certified company. And what that means is that the space we work in this case being the early education space, as we do work alongside all of you phenomenal people, we actually positively impact that space as we work along with you. So thank you for all you do and for being a part of the amazing profession that you are in right now. So folks, I'm super happy and super excited to be welcoming you, of course, here to Hi Mama Helps. I'm Ria. I am your host. I'm also an early childhood educator myself and community ambassador here at Hi Mama. I'm very excited. We have so many things happening today that honestly, I have no fun facts at this point, but I do have my colleague Kaya, my partner in crime, my co-host. She's on the chat here right now. Kaya, come on and join us here. I know we have tons of things. We have tons of things happening in Hi Mama right now, from social, you kind of name it, right?
Yeah, we have so much going on right now. I'm actually super excited because I'm at the office and these just came in the mail today. They are our cute little blobs that our designer, Tanner, on our team, he designed them. And there's a third one here. So super cute stickers. We have lots of swag to give away, and we want to give it away to all of the amazing educators out there. So that's why we're running a spotlight program right now on our Facebook, on our private Facebook group, and our Instagram. It's all running in the same universe there. I'm going to put the link for folks to nominate somebody, or you can actually nominate themselves. Total shameless promotion. Should take a few moments to fill out our form there, and we will be choosing some spotlight winners to win and feature them on our social media, and also win swag pack, including the hat and these really cute stickers. Super excited. If you need any help or any support, I'm on chat for you.
Thank you so much, Kaya. Folks, please do nominate yourself, nominate a fellow educator, whoever. We'd love to spotlight you. Take that couple of minutes, fill that guy out, easy peasy, and we would love to be featuring you here at Hi Mama. All right. I'm so excited. Every conversation I've had with this fantastic person is always just brings and warms my heart. Miss Prerna Richards, please do join us here. Welcome back, this traveling guru. She's been at conferences, folks, you name it. Prerna, maybe introduce yourself, share a fun fact or two with the crew here.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to be here. You guys are my favorite group to participate with. And I was just looking at the chat. How fun is this? This is so global. I love it. I absolutely love it. And while I get my screen set up, And I noticed that there was a whole bunch of people from Texas, go Texas, and they were giving a shout out. So yes, fun fact about me. Oh dear God, this is too much pressure, Ria. This is too much pressure. What can I tell you a fun fact about me?
I know, right? It's always different. That's the hardest thing of the whole webinar.
That's very hard to have one fun fact. Maybe it's not a fun fact, but it's just a new update. I've now started offering coaching office hours, and I'm helping schools coach for behaviors online, and they can jump on and find out more. So that just launched just in October. And I was in a classroom yesterday supporting, and yeah, so I can't think of a fun fact, but just a cool fact.
I think that's a fun fact. I think so. Like, why not? It's a phenomenal service you're offering. So I consider that. Let's chat though. Prerna, the floor is yours. We've had conversations about emotional development in the past, but let's dive in.
Let's do this. Let's do this. And I'm excited that so many people thought that this topic was worthy of your time, and you are here. So let's do this. So basically, 7 classroom strategies to support emotional development and in children in the classroom space. I'm just going to get started with the conversation so that I don't waste too much time.
Please do.
Oh, hang on. I think I should have not done this because you've already covered these. I'm just going to go quickly through this.
Not to worry.
Sorry about that.
There we go. There we go. Minor.
So, the topic says classroom management. I am curious to know, put it in the chat, what do you think this word classroom management means? And I'm going to get started, but I'll keep an eye on the chat with what you think this word classroom management means. So go for it and put it in there while I continue giving the overview of what we're talking about. So today, basically, we're going to talk about understanding what challenging behaviors are, why are they doing it, control chaos, that's a funny one, and then 7 effective ways. And now it goes too fast and I can't read it. So if there's anything that pops out to you, Ria, let me know. But I'm really not good with multitasking. So
all good. Right. There's great environments happening, control, managing emotions, personalities. You guys I think they're nailing it already.
Okay, so here's my take on classroom management. What is this? If you've heard of Mary Poppins and she has a carpet bag, classroom management is your magic carpet bag. And so whatever you put in your magic carpet bag and you just whoosh it out and you just make magic happen, that's classroom management. So today we're talking about social emotional tricks in our carpet bag. That's what this is about. So if you've done anything work with me, I'm going to start with the breathing. You just know we're going to get our brains engaged. And today, I think because it's Diwali, happy Diwali, by the way, it's a festival of light. So today, I think we should breathe in with the candle flame in front of us. And as we take a breath, we're going to blow our candle flame, but we're going to flicker it. So here, join me wherever you are, take a breath in. Here we go. Second one in, take 2 candles this time. And third one, here we go. So this topic, I normally talk 3 and 4 hours. So with the knowing that it's only an hour, I'm just going to hit the highlights. If you have further questions, let me know and we can dive deeper. I do have a question for everybody who is listening. Are you the most important tool in the classroom? What do you think about this statement? Do you agree? Some of you are agreeing and some of you are not agreeing. And there are many reasons why we might think we are the most important tool in the classroom. Ria, do you want to take a stab? What would be one reason why you might agree with this or disagree?
So for me, I would say I somewhat disagree. I think you're definitely a tool in the classroom, but I'm also a very firm believer that your environment plays a huge factor, and it's very much like a first teacher for me. It, obviously, personal perspective, obviously, but it's very much that you're a you're a player, but you're more of a background player in at least
Yeah.
in my perspective. So
Okay. So the reason I bring this up is because it's controversial. And
I like it.
I bring it up for that reason. But the reason I think the adult is the most important person in the classroom environment is because we get to wire the brains. 90% of the brain is getting wired birth to 5. And the person who showed up today for this webinar, the person you are today, if you're creative, critical thinker, problem solver, tenacious, if you're shy, if you're anxious, if you're insecure, that foundation was laid birth to 5. So the role that educators play, the role that parents play, the influence touches you for the rest of your life. And so, it's beyond the environment, beyond just this minute. I have a video that kind of emphasizes how important these early years are. And I think it's really important if we can just take a few minutes and watch it, just to frame our conversation. Just to frame our conversation that this matters. What happened? What happened? Why is this not working? Because normally it just works. Oh, dear God. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to
Minor hiccup. We'll make sure to include the video, Prerna, not to worry.
Okay, I will send it to you. And it was just a short video of just talking about the importance of the early years and how the brain gets wired. And I'm not sure why, because I'm sharing my laptop and it was on my laptop. I have no idea. You know what? We're going to just move forward. It didn't even happen. We roll with it. So when you hear this word challenging behaviors, because we're talking about social emotional, so obviously challenging behaviors, sorry, I should not look at chat because that totally throws me off. All right. How do you define challenging behaviors? And I'll open up the floor again for the chat, but how do you define, Ria, how would you define challenging behavior?
Ooh, that's a really good question. For me, it's typically like they're outbursts. They're usually some sort of, it has a negative context behind it. And obviously there's always a deeper motive to why is that behavior happening? And it's always something that, usually there's 2 or 3 things happening all at once, and you're kind of missing that moment of what triggers it, or you're trying to not least to miss it. But for me, it's some sort of negative context of why that behavior is happening, and it's not necessarily negative though, which is the part that is very interesting. So.
Okay, so I think that's a good thought, that maybe it generates, I think what you're trying to say is maybe it generates some negative emotions, either in the child or the grown-up. And I would agree with you, anything could be challenging if you're triggered by it.
Yep.
So each one of us has different things in a classroom that trigger us or don't trigger us. And it becomes a challenge if we are triggered by it. So I think you framed it really well, and we hadn't even talked about that. So guess what? We're just like right there. Yeah. So I think, looking at it is anything that triggers the adult is challenging. My next question would be, why do children misbehave? Like, what is that about? Any guesses? Anybody? What do you think, Ria?
For me, it's they misbehave, they want attention. There's something that's not being met. What that need is, obviously there's a variety of them, but it's usually something is missing, and they want your attention on what that something is. So
so I would say it because it works. They get their unmet needs met, and yes, attention is a huge part of it. It could be a bio need, it could be whatever. So children learn very quickly that this works in this environment, this doesn't work in this environment, and they do that because their needs get met in that way. So now that we know the basis of this, let's dive into what do teachers need to know so that they can set up children for success. This is your carpet bag with the magic tricks all in here. We're coming from the social emotional perspective. How can we set up every environment that all children can be successful? So here are the basic things that I think all adults, whether they are parents or educators, need to start with. What are my triggers, right? So if we can unpack our triggers, we can be in our learning brain or our executive function brain, and instead of us reacting, we can be responsive. That's where it starts the conversation for challenging behaviors in classroom management to me. Or if there's parents listening, it starts with that, right? I will tell you some examples of triggers. When children don't listen, that's a huge trigger. Can anybody relate to that? Like when children are disrespectful or rude, it's a trigger for people. I know it's a trigger for me. When I was doing homeschooling and my granddaughter wouldn't listen to me, I would get triggered, right? So understanding our triggers, what is pushing our buttons is very, very helpful, but also helping children to understand their triggers is the next level. We also need to understand brain development. So if you are a director or if you're a teacher or you are a parent and you have not been educated in brain development for young children, you need to do that so that you can understand what's happening here so you can help what's happening there. The two are connected. I also think just general understanding of what routines should look like in your classroom. Does everybody have a clear understanding of that? For example, cleanup time doesn't mean children are wandering around. Cleanup time doesn't mean that these select children help clean up and these others just get scot-free and they just wander around the classroom, but nobody holds them accountable. But we're doing this. This is, the teachers set themselves up for failure all the time. I hear teachers saying all the time, cleanup time, and then there's a select few who end up cleaning and the teacher helps up cleaning, but the rest are just playing or distracted or doing whatever, right? So if you have a rule in your classroom, do the children know what it should sound like, what it should look like, what it should feel like? Have you broken it down? Clean up means you come and pick up and move things. I need to see you busy. I need to see you at a task, right? So breaking it down. So schedules are another one. The other thing we need to understand about behaviors is that it's a symptom. So behavior is not the cause. Behavior is what's happening as a result of something else. It's a symptom. I will tell you an example of how symptoms show up. I don't know, do you guys suffer from migraines? I have a friend who has really, really bad migraines. And do you suffer from migraines, Ria?
No, I don't personally, but I also have a friend who suffers from very severe migraines.
Okay, got it.
Sounds horrible, actually.
It is horrible, and I've had it before in the past, but migraine is a symptom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Migraine is something is happening inside your body, and your body's way of telling you that you have some problem is a migraine. So my friend went to everybody. She went to all the doctors. Nobody could help her. Finally, just last month, she found out that she's allergic to chocolates. Oh. And that's where, very sad indeed.
That's, I think, worse. No, I'm sure it's very not, but
yeah. So, right, yeah, that's almost worse. So she had to find out the cause before she can help her symptom. So I think we need to understand that the behavior that the children are displaying, which could be challenging for the adult because they're being triggered by it, is only a symptom on the surface. You have to go deeper and you have to understand what are they trying to communicate through the behavior? What is the root cause of this behavior? And that's when we can help. And I think the biggest thing we need to understand is the difference between reacting and responding. If you hear this word reacting, Ria, what do you think it is?
Typically it's, your first response to whatever that is. So if it's a negative behavior that's coming out, it's like you said, is it your trigger going off? Is it you snapping, for example? Is it you potentially, raising your voice, or, there's a variety of things, but it's the initial just one off go.
So it's very fast. It's impulsive. Yep.
It's very impulsive.
Yeah. The word reaction just means that I didn't process, I didn't think, my first thought, my first feeling, my first emotion, I'm just right there fast with it. Mm-hmm. The problem is that when the adult is overwhelmed, when the adult is struggling, when the adult is challenged, reaction is what our brain does. That's how we are programmed as humans. The opposite of reacting is responding. When you can slow down and when you can actually think about something and have a plan, and we can show up in a responsive way. So the more calm the adult is, the more the adult is not getting triggered, the more responsive you can be. So our conversation today is about classroom management, but it starts with the adult changing things what they need to. I was in a classroom yesterday, I was just telling you, and these teachers are overwhelmed with stress because the behaviors are out of control. So much hitting, so much pushing, so much aggression, so much that the teachers have no more to give. They are not showing up with their calm brain, they're showing up with their survival brain, and they're fearful, and there's anxiety in the room. And the word that the teachers used was, I'm anxious all the time because children get hurt in my classroom, children get dysregulated in my classroom, and they're coming from a place of fear that I'm just keeping everybody safe. Like my job, I'm just putting out fires. I'm just keeping everybody safe. This was 17 4-year-olds, the classroom I was helping in yesterday. So this is real. This is real because children have not mastered the impulse control, self-control, self-regulation. These are executive function skills. But my point is that if the adult is in their survival brain and coming from a place of fear and anxiety, they're not coming from a responsive place. They're coming from a reactive place. You're not going to be able to help the children till you take care of this. And that's where the work happens. So when we start understanding that as a human being, we have 5 basic needs, the adult and the children, it doesn't change. If these needs are not met, we will have attention-seeking behavior. Let me phrase that again. Attention-seeking behavior is a relationship-seeking need, right? So we all started this conversation, and several of you on the chat said that anything that's challenging is they're doing it for getting attention. Yes, you're right. They're doing it to get attention because it's an unmet need. They're doing it to get your attention because they're looking for a connection. And the only way they're getting a connection is when they misbehave. So it's circle time, they're rolling, they're spinning, they're twirling, they're playing, and you correct them. Well, you give them attention, right? So you stop what you're doing and you look at them, and that's how they learn to communicate. So to be seen as a human being, individual, I want you to see me. And this is why some people will dress loudly and do things because they want to be seen. Nothing wrong with it. It's just there's a need that's not met, right? It's an emotional need that's not met. To be heard. Children have voices, adults have voices. To be loved unconditionally. There's a difference between I will love you if you clean up. I love you if you follow my instructions. I love you if you help me. I love you if you're on task, but unconditional. Children can sense that. And I will guarantee you, those of you that are listening and you have children that get under your skin, the ones who send you home exhausted and tired and you're getting gray hair. And every time somebody talks about them, you're like, oh, children these days. Those ones are sensing it that you are not accepting them. They cannot learn from you if they don't feel the love from you. Nobody can learn unless they feel accepted and loved and heard from you as the adult. And I understand children these days are very stressed out. Adults are stressed out. I get it. I get it. It's a normal human reaction that they get under our skin. The problem is they can't learn from us if they don't feel us that we love them. It's just not going to happen.
I also find, Prerna, that especially when they're pushing those buttons on you as an educator and they're really trying to obviously get that from you, and of course you're frustrated at the time, it also lends that bridge to you start to realize and you start to diagnose that there's something more to it as well for yourself. And then as an educator, you start to put pieces together as you start to realize that, okay, this behavior is because of X, Y, and Z, but what's deeper into it? What's happening at home? What's happening on the playground? What is actually causing this? What's the root? And I find that when you start looking at all of these needs together, you start to dive into those pieces deeply.
Yeah, and quite often as educators, we want to point a finger at the parents. We want to point a finger at the families. Here's the thing. As a teacher, you have no control over it.
Yep.
You have zero control over out of your classroom. So to manage your stress and to take care of you, if we can just understand what can I do here? And even though it feels like I'm doing little by little, it'll add up. And I'm going to share with you 7 tricks to put in your carpet bag that you can help meet the emotional needs and you can de-stress for yourself. You need to take care of you. This is what I was telling the teachers yesterday I was coaching. You cannot pour from an empty teapot. You
No.
have got to figure out a way how you can de-stress. You cannot come to the classroom where you're under stress and you're able to show up at this level and meet their needs. You cannot. You cannot. And some days, the other thing we need to just come to terms with, some days are learning days and some days are loving days. It's just what's going to happen. Show up with what needs to happen in that space. Learning can only happen when I feel safe, accepted, included, then I'm ready to learn. I came up with an acronym, SAIL, S-A-I-L.
I love that.
I have to think of acronyms to make my brain work. So if I feel safe, if I feel accepted and included, I am ready to learn, I'm ready to contribute. This, by the way, does not change in a work environment, family environment, classroom environment, program environment. If you don't feel safe, you're not going to learn, you're not going to contribute. All right, so I'm going to go ahead into the heart of our conversation, the 7 effective ways in how we can meet social emotional needs and add tricks to our bag of Mary Poppins. So, I mean, Mary Poppins was the best with kids, right? She just knew what to do. So we all have to just own our Mary Poppins inside us. All right, so here we go. The first concept is emotional banks. And I'm not sure if everybody on this chat is aware of what this is or not, and I don't have time to ask everybody, so I'm just going to presume that some of us know it and some of us don't know it. This is my favorite book for it. Every family needs it. Every classroom needs it. Have you filled your bucket today? And the concept behind this is very simple. We can be bucket dippers or we can be bucket fillers. I have used this for teacher staff training. I've done it as a family. I did this with my granddaughter, and this is how we did it. We made buckets, and at the end of the day, we would have a conversation. What were things that we did today that made you feel good? And what were things that we did today that didn't make you feel good, right? So she said, when you listen to me, it filled my bucket. Well, that was a beautiful segue into me saying to her, when you don't listen to me, you are also emptying my bucket. Hello, it goes both ways. You fill my bucket when you listen to me, and I fill yours. She also said when you gave me a chance to talk and share my ideas, that made her feel better. So the concept that we all have an emotional bank, emotional cup, is one that, children will do attention-seeking behavior if their emotional needs are not met. I also want to remind people that sometimes children walk into our classroom with their cup full of emotions and they're not ready to learn till they've had a chance to release some of it. So when you do breathing in your classroom, when you do brain breaks in your classroom, it allows for it to come out, and then you can regulate their brains and you can teach. There are no bad kids, there are only dysregulated brains. And this is why it's really crucial that we understand brain development, to understand behaviors, to understand social emotional needs, right? So that's the concept of brain emotional banks. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm talking really fast because we have very short time, but if anybody's interested
You're good.
Just let me know and I'll give you more information. But to me, this is like a longer conversation and I'm just touching it up here, right?
Don't worry. I'm sure if any questions come in, Prerna, I will stop. So don't worry.
Awesome. Good. Thank you for keeping an eye on that. So cheers is another one. And many of our educator friends may have heard of Dr. Jean, Jean. If you're not familiar, go get it. drjean.com.org. I always forget. But just find Dr. Jean. She has something called cheers. And now this is what I love about cheers. This is a specific strategy that I love because if you're coming from the concept of they're misbehaving or they're dysregulated because they're seeking attention, and if the only time they're getting attention is when I correct you and direct you, by the way, you don't correct and connect in those conversations. You only connect when you're having real conversations, not correcting and directing. So cheers is a great way to recognize when a child who has normally been dysregulated. So let's pick, I'll just go with Jasmine. All right. So Jasmine has trouble staying on task. Jasmine hits. Jasmine is aggressive. She punches. And all my connections with Jasmine is correcting her. But if I see her on task, if I see her playing, and if I just go up to her and I do one of the cheers for her. So pretend, Ria, you're Jasmine. And so you know, you've just been really good at the dramatic area and you didn't hit anybody. And this is what I'll do to you. I'll come up to you and I'll have my grater and I'll have my cheese and I'll go, you're great. You see,
Love it.
So the other one I could say to you is, oh, well, maybe we'll go with Ria. Ria has been really kind today. Ria has been very friendly today. Ria has been very supportive today. So Ria deserves a cheer. So I'm going to take out my the spray bottle and I'm going to go, ch, 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 ch. You're fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
How cute is that?
That
How
is so
cute is
cute.
that? Right? So go get your cheers, go print them, go laminate them, and replace your connecting and correcting with recognizing when they're on task, right? Feed them with what's working so they can do more of it. And I guarantee you, if you can weave in brain breaks, breathing breaks, and cheers and understand emotional concepts, already your stress level is going to come down. Already, yes, the Harry Potter one is good too. I'll show you. So Ria, this is how the Harry Potter one goes.
I was going to ask. I
I
have to know.
I may have forgotten it, but I'm trying to remember. I think it's you take your wand and you go around you and you go, you're terrific. I think that's what it is. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. But anyhow, I'm going to keep moving forward. Here's another strategy called the treasure box. So before I do this with my preschoolers, actually, this is also good for your own families. Anything you can do in a classroom, you can do it at home, and it feeds their emotional needs. So decorate a box. Mine was just simple because this is all I had at home. Put all the children's names in here, put all the children's pictures in here, whatever works for you, decorate it. And when you're doing your circle, everybody's sitting around it. And then you start taking each child's name. And this is the sentence that you use. Ria, you are my treasure. It's my job to keep you safe. Will you help me keep others safe?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Kaya, you are my treasure. It's my job to keep you safe. Will you help me keep others safe?
Yes.
Okay. So what you're doing is before you start using this, you tell the children what treasure is. Treasure is something that you love, something that you just treasure so much. It's so important to you that you will keep it safe, that you will take care of it, that you will protect it. And when children can know that they are your treasures, they can start having the sense of a connection with you. So you do this every day. You make the children feel two things. So you're hitting two parts of the brain, survival brain and emotional brain. I'm going to keep you safe. That's my job. The next one is that you matter to me, that you're important to me. So, you know, you're setting up the day. And then when they make an unsafe choice, when they make a poor choice, you can direct it back to say that wasn't a safe choice. So instead of not good choices and bad choices, it's not a safe choice, right? Come from the angle of safety because our brain can understand safety much more than judgment call of correcting us all the time. So, okay, let me know if there's any questions coming up. I'm going to keep moving forward. The next
Good so
one,
far.
all right, cool deal. Next one is structured choices. Remember, I just finished telling you that one of the needs that humans have is to be heard and seen. When we give children choices, choices equals voices. Choices equals voices. Every time the child can choose something, you're allowing for their voice to be heard. The more choices we can give them, the more they're going to have a sense of I belong and my voice is heard. So I'm less likely to have attention-seeking behavior if you're giving me many chances. So let me frame a structured choice. If children are running down the hallway, I could say to them, you have a choice. You can either walk with a group or you can walk by yourself. I will not allow you to run, right? Pick your choice. Which one would you do? Would you rather do this or that? So this concept of or, the concept of or gets introduced in a choice. And those choices have to be something that you can live with, like pick this or this. Mm-hmm. And the teacher should be able to be happy with either one. If you're a parent at home, would you like to wear the blue shirt or the red shirt? The point is that you put a shirt on. I'm not going to have a power struggle about it. Just put a shirt on where you get to choose which one. So structured choices are really important to have their voices heard. The other one is describing the behavior and describing the body, what it's telling you. So I was in a classroom, and this little boy, he had his hands like this. His name was Zach, and he was grunting like, he was grunting, and he was stomping his feet. And because I was in the classroom coaching, I described it. I said, Zach, your hands are folded, your lips are like this, and you're grunting, and your feet are stomping. Are you angry? And then I'm asking for clarification because I want to hear his voice. He said, no, I'm frustrated. I said, why?
I love that he used frustrated.
He did.
For starters.
Well, look, his teacher has introduced him to emotions, right? So we're not just angry and mad and sad, we are frustrated. And I said, why are you frustrated? And he said, because I don't want to clean up. I said, good point, right? I understand you didn't want to clean up, but guess what? I'm sorry that you're sad, but we still got to go outside. Would you like help? Would you like to do it yourself, or would you like me to help you? I'm giving you a choice, right? So sometimes teachers just stop at that. Oh, he said he doesn't want to do it. Well, that doesn't mean you stop life. Like, life has to carry on, but you can acknowledge it. You can acknowledge the emotion. There was the cup structure being created yesterday in the classroom, and children love to stack cups and become creative. Well, one of the kids was hoarding some of the cups, and the other little guy wanted it to finish his structure. And he kept, so there was a little bit of conflict because he wanted those, he didn't want to give it, la, la, la. And so some of the cups got dropped off, and the teacher said, oh, we can just build it again. But that was a missed opportunity because she needed to acknowledge the emotion. Oh, you're disappointed that it fell. I understand. Okay, now that we can acknowledge the emotion, I can help you move past it. So we don't need to bury the emotions. We just need to go through them, right? The old-fashioned song of we're going on a bear hunt, can't go over it, can't go under it, gotta go through it. You gotta go through the emotion. Don't be scared to label emotions. Don't shy away from labeling emotions. I'm going to share some more resources with you. I Am Human is a wonderful book because it talks about empathy. It talks about angry. It talks about I can make good choices, bad choices, but I can learn from my mistakes. Sometimes I hurt people. Sometimes I don't mean to. This is another good one. Worry says what? Because worry is a real emotion. Guess what? Worry is a real emotion. Oh, by the way, let me just do a little fun activity because we haven't done any breathing for a minute. So let's just follow me wherever you are. We're going to release a worry. So just because we talked about the worry, okay, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to imagine a pink bubble. And in my pink bubble, I'm going to put my worry. Whatever is your worry today, put it safely in the pink bubble. Take a deep breath and blow your bubble away. Just watch your bubble fly away, floating away with your worry, and just wish your worry goodbye. I'll be okay. It'll all work out, and you release your worry, right? So teaching children these strategies empowers them. Simple.
Prerna, I love just how it's simple, it's love, and it's also at the same time too, you're showing them they do have a voice, because they do, right? And like it's from those choices, like the choices equals voices. I think I'll never forget that. It's a beautiful saying, but it's also showing with you identifying what their emotion is and even putting a name to it, like you said, also helps them say, okay, they're acknowledging that that's how I'm feeling. And then from there, being able to, like, for example, the breathing exercise just now, it's just like, it's something so simple, but yet so caring. It helps come back to what you're saying earlier about building on that love and that trust and helping bring your own anxiety down.
Well, that's at the heart of it, right? So normally I talk about this much longer, and this is the strategy that I use for coaching, because we all need remembering that we have to come from an empathetic, compassionate perspective and not from a judgment perspective. And we could all use a bit more, compassion and understanding in our life. Introducing children to emotions and labeling them is very powerful. I'll give you another example. So things like worry, things like frustration, things like irritation is really good to label. There's another one that's really good to label is embarrassment and perfection. So many children will react very strongly, especially the ones who get into trouble all the time in the classroom because their name is constantly being called. And the language that they have in their heads is, I cannot do anything right. I'm not perfect, and so I won't try. I am the bad child. And for a minute, if you think that they're not absorbing that emotion, you are so wrong. They are totally absorbing that emotion, starting from 2 years old, starting from 1 year old. If you're taking the same child's name again and again, that child is internalizing it. So let me give you another example of perfection. With my granddaughter, when I was doing homeschooling, she would struggle with the writing assignments to the very end. Like she would do all the work and she would not want to do the writing assignment. And I was wondering about this. I'm like, what is the problem? Why is the pushback here? And so one day I asked her, and we were in the car and she's sitting in the back seat. And I just say to her, so I noticed that, you struggle with the writing assignments. I'm wondering if I'll change her name so that anybody listening doesn't know. So I'll go with Dolly. I'll just call her Dolly. I've taken her real name, and my daughter's like, you're telling her name everywhere. So so I'll go with Dolly. So I said, I wonder sometimes when perfect, so she calls me Ami. I said, when perfect Ami shows up, I'm not able to do anything. I'm just not able to do it. The perfect Ami just stops me from doing anything. So I don't even want to start because I might fail. Does perfect Dolly ever show up? And so she thought about it for a minute, and then she said, oh, do you mean like when I don't want to write? Yeah, because I don't want to write because I know I'll have to erase it and I'll mess it up. So we talked about the perfect emotion and how it hinders us and how it creates a barrier for us, right? So I'm going to keep moving because I know we're running out of time. And the last one is the magical sentence. I have to give you a magical sentence. If you're seeing children with attention-seeking behavior, if your brain says to you, you're just doing this to get attention, remember, attention-seeking behavior is a relationship-seeking need. Here is your magical sentence out of your carpet bag. Here's what you can see. I see you. I hear you. I love you, but I don't like what you're doing. You're destroying the classroom. I see what you're trying to do. You're throwing the toys around. I hear what you're doing. You are making grunting sounds. I love you, but I don't like what you're doing. Label what you're seeing. Call it out. I see you. I hear you. I love you. I like you, but I don't like what you're doing. Separate the behavior from the child. It's powerful. It's powerful. So that's really a magical sentence for attention-seeking behavior. The next time you justify something with attention-seeking, replace it with empathy and compassion, right? If you're enjoying what you like right now, I do have free resources on my website. You can pull up your camera. You can point the camera to it. The first thing it'll show you if you do it will say, let's get started. The minute you put, let's get started, it'll take you to my resource page. You can download whatever you want for free. I have books listed there for children's literature for social emotional. I have brain development information there. I have books on executive function skills there. I forget what all I have. I forget.
We're going to include this as well, folks, in our show notes email for you all. So don't fret, we'll make sure to get it out to you. So
yes, and I was speaking really fast, so I feel like I'm going to slow down and take a breath. And here's another good book I want to share. Sometimes I'm a bumbaloo. Because
I don't know if I've heard this one, Prerna.
It is so cute. It is so cute.
It's adorable.
When your face becomes like this and when you want to scream, you're a bumbaloo. So tell the kids that you're being a bumbaloo. This is another one, Breathe Like a Bear. I love, love, love this one because it tells a little story before you get them to breathe. So already you're engaging their attention and then you can do the breathing right after that. Right?
Love it.
There's another one. Oh, this is my all-time favorite. I don't know. I have so many all-time favorites, but this is my new all-time favorite. This is called Tale of Two Beasts. And it's about perspective taking. So when the child who is always in trouble, or the child who's always doing attention-seeking behavior doesn't see your perspective, doesn't understand that you have a different point of view. This sweet girl is in the forest, she finds a squirrel, and her side of the story is that the poor squirrel was alone and lonely, and I had to pick up the squirrel and cuddled it and wrapped it and took care of it. Then they asked the squirrel his side of the story, and he said, I was just having the best day, and this beast came along, picked me up, wrapped me up, gave me a bath. It was awful. I couldn't wait to run away. So understanding that different children have different perspectives is a skill that they haven't mastered yet, right?
Very much so. Prerna, I think we need to take a deep breath. First of all, you're getting lots of love in the chat as well. Just so you know, everyone is loving so far. I think, are you ready to jump into Q&A? We have a couple of questions.
Let's do it.
Wonderful. Before we do.
Julie. Thank you, Julie, for being here. I love it that Julie's here. Oh,
I know, right?
That's awesome. She's a good mentor.
Oh,
in area. Yeah, she's awesome.
I love it. Well, let's jump into Q&A. Take a sip of water, folks, if you need to. Prerna, you too as well. You've covered so many great things. Folks, we're curious. I'm going to launch up a quick poll here. Would love to know how you're tracking social emotional development in your center. We'll leave it up for a little bit while we go into Q&A here, and have a little bit of fun with you there, Prerna. I'm just gonna kick you out here for a second. No worries though.
Fine.
And then jump up here. And so let's talk. Of course, we've had tons of amazing things come from you, tons of amazing pointers, tips, tricks, all of it's been coming out. I want to talk a little bit about, of course, those 2-year-olds of ours, which, they're just starting to really come into their own. They're starting to come into what their emotions are, what they're still struggling, of course, with what their needs are. And it's probably one of the most challenging times, although I always say terrible 2s, tremendous 3s and unforgettable 4s, and you can take it as you like in one regard. Any recommendations, whether it's book wise or strategy wise, as you start to work with those especially those wee ones, and actually just start getting them into what their social emotional needs are?
So you brought up a good point. If I'm understanding the questions correctly, what we're talking about is the nonverbal children who don't have the language skills developed yet.
They're getting there.
What they're feeling. So it's just like language, whether you introduce them to language in general, you label it, you describe it, your actions and words follow. So when they come into this world, they don't know English either, right?
Yes.
But we don't stop that from us using English words to teach them and to connect with them and to relate to them. So the same goes with social emotional vocabulary, right? So you label it, you look upset, you look sad, are you disappointed? Would you like me to pick you up? One of the first things that we taught our granddaughter when she was under a 2 was help me and hold me. Those were 2 valuable sentences. Help me and hold me. Those could meet the biggest needs. Like if she needed to be held, and before she would say, hold you, help you, she didn't understand the me part. So because she heard us say, do you want me to hold you? Do you want me to help you? She started saying, hold you, help you. And we knew that she wanted that, right? So give them a vocabulary. Even at 2, you can give a suggestion and say, would you like a hug? Or would you like to go to your room and just take a deep breath? So they don't understand it, but they understand you and they understand the action. So social emotional is not different from language teaching. You just do it.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, just leave it in, weave it in.
I want to, turn back, back up. Talk about cheer again for a second here. I want to bring it back. Is there any possibility, this was a great question, actually, maybe one of our harder questions. Is there a possibility that a cheer might backfire on you, unintentionally, of course, where, you're cheering with a child, but maybe there's a potential child that hasn't gotten a cheer and they want to be spotlighted? Has this ever backfired for you?
Thank you for bringing it up. So what I would do with cheers is I would do it for my entire class regularly. So this is something that we do. We teach our children that this is a cooperative classroom, not a competitive classroom. So teaching the children that when somebody does good, let's cheer them. And then you provide individual cheers for your ones who get under your skin and who trigger you. You go up to them, and when they do something good, you do a private cheer to meet their needs and their buckets. But as a class, I am going to teach everybody that if you see anybody doing good, you tell me and we're going to cheer for them. This is what we do in this classroom. We celebrate each other. We celebrate success. 100%.
I love it. Prerna, I wanted to go back in one last question. If there's an educator out there today, of course, there's probably many of you, and I really hope there isn't, but for anyone right now who is stuck in that spot where their emotional bucket is just very empty. They're stressed coming into the classroom, like those educators you were talking about earlier, and
Mhm,
they're really just in a tough spot right now.
mhm.
Any recommendations for those educators right now to just kind of help get themselves back on track?
Okay, so this is what I told them yesterday, and good thing I just told them yesterday, so you could do this today. 3 things, 3 E's. Do this every day for yourself to manage your stress hormones. The first one is energize. Do something that brings you joy every day, something that energizes you, do it every day. For me, it's meditation. I meditate every single day. For me, it's walking my dogs that energizes me, playing with my grandkids. Do something that energizes you every day. The next E is exercise. Not the scales, not the weights, but getting oxygen in your lungs and your heart and strength, increasing your heart rate. So 3 E's. Do something energizing every day, something exercising every day. And the third E is empathize every day. Is there someone in the corner of your world that you can unburden your heart to every single day? If you cannot remember the last time you unburdened your heart, it's been too long. If you can't remember when you energized yourself, it's been too long. The problem with stress hormones is that it can be a spiral. If you don't take care of your stress hormones by reducing them, and research has shown that these 3 E's can reduce your stress hormones. So 3 E's: energize, exercise, and empathize. Do it every single day and keep a gratitude journal. When our attention is on what's going right, we see so many more things going right. When you're under stress and you're feeling overwhelmed and your classroom is a mess and it's a hot mess, you are feeling worthless. You're feeling like I can't do anything right. You're feeling like I've lost my mojo. I cannot be a good teacher. That is not true. Think
Yep.
of one thing that worked that day. Think of one thing that you were able to do for somebody else that day. Gratitude journal is huge. And introduce your children to gratitude. I've done it with my granddaughters ever since they were 18 months, 2 years. Before they could speak, we would say, so I'm thank you for this. Finish the sentence. I'm thank you for, right?
It's honestly, I started my gratitude journal back with when 2021 started. That was like it's kind of my goal for the year. I'd
I've had
never
it
done it
forever.
before.
Yeah.
And it, like you said, it helps you focus on the things that are actually going well, because when you're in that downward spiral, it is so hard to get out of it. It is so
Yeah.
hard to pull yourself away from it.
Yes, and as I was noticing, some of the chats were saying, do you do individual training for school? Yes, I do for schools, I do for families. I've lost big school, small school, doesn't matter school. There was also another question about SAIL, if I could repeat SAIL.
Yes, please.
When I feel safe, accepted, included, I'm ready to learn. Right?
I love
Safe.
it.
So, but you if you're clever and you can think of a different acronym and replace the accepted and included with something else, go for it. That's just what made sense in my brain. So, so yeah. Thank you,
Prerna,
Shellen. Love you too, Shellen. Shellen is one
so
of my
much
people
love.
I'm helping with. Shellen
You're,
is one of my people I'm going to be helping her teachers with. I'm excited that she's here. I hope
I
you
love
have
it.
something new in here, my friend. This is awesome. Okay, what else? Any other questions? I know we're probably out of time. I don't know.
We are. Miss Prerna, it's always a pleasure having you on. I always enjoy the discussion, the conversation, and I can definitely tell you from the chat, they love you, by the way.
Oh,
Everyone on here has just been absolutely phenomenal with their pieces of the conversation, adding as you've been going along. The community has been
oh,
phenomenal. But Prerna,
oh.
any last pieces of wisdom, words of advice, happy thoughts, something you want to leave the crew with today?
Yes, it's November. It's Thanksgiving season.
Yep.
I'm grateful that we have the job that we do, that we can make the world a better place for children. So if you have one child in your life, or if you have 100 children in your life, be grateful that you have a calling, that you can do something for children. And by the way, you got this. You got this. Have confidence in
I agree.
yourself. This is the most important job, is the most difficult job because it matters. Being an educator, it matters.
100%. I back that.
Being a parent, it
150%.
matters. Being a parent, it matters. Being a grandparent, it matters. A child in your life and you're touching somebody's life, it matters.
Prerna, thank you so much. It's been
Thank you.
phenomenal having you on. I hate that we have to end for the day. I'm sure we should make longer sessions, something. We got to do this.
I don't
do this
know. You got to figure this out. I don't know. Hi, my friend. I love coming here. Hi Mama is doing great work. They have great speakers. Listen to them, follow them, and do stuff in your classroom. You'll have a better life as an educator. These ladies are amazing.
Prerna, thank you so much. Folks, we're going to jump into wrap up now. I cannot thank Prerna enough for being on. Folks, the whole session will be recorded. So if you do want to take some time to digest, come on back. Of course, please, we will have that all out to you later on, and as well as the resources we talked about today. And then next week, November 11th, I can't believe it will be here, but we're going to be talking about being a great leader within your childcare center, about how you can apply that in your classroom. And of course, if you're coming from the front office, wherever you sit, we're going to be talking a little bit more. We're bringing Hani Wisconski back from, she was actually with us on our summit, and she's coming in to further the conversation that she brought in from our summit in August. So excited to have her back. If you haven't, Kaya's going to pop it in the chat. Please download our childcare parent satisfaction report, folks. This is a phenomenal read. So many key takeaways you can get from this. It's totally free, and it's been absolutely well reviewed in so many places in regards to who's been interacting with it. We've been loving every minute of it. So please take some time to check out some of the statistics. This was a great insight, I have to say, coming from all of the parents who participated. So over 500 families, folks. It was absolutely awesome. Miss Kaya, I want to make sure to give you a sec here to come back on, promote up our spotlight. We want to spotlight you as an educator, and we of course want to send you a blob.
Yeah, we have these amazing little blobs that our wonderful designer Tanner, he designed.
Hi, Tanner.
The famous Tanner is in office today. So if you would like to win some of these blobs, as well as one of our swag packs, you can click the link that I'm going to put in the chat in just a second. We are spotlighting our early childhood educators for all the amazing work that you do. So make sure you can even nominate yourself or someone you work with in the early childhood field. So if you want to win some of these cute things,
I want some. I want some. I don't want to nominate anybody, but I want some. Are you going to send?
We'll send you some, Prerna,
We'll get you
for
some,
all your
Prerna.
hard
We'll
work.
They're too cute. I need some. That's what I'm missing in life. Tanner, you did a great job. Those are very cute. Tanner, well done.
He does a phenomenal job. I could not do that. I'm not that talented. If you haven't, folks, please do make sure to follow us on social media. Check out our podcast. Prerna did a podcast with us. Make sure to include that in our show notes page as well, so that you have a connection up with that. That was a phenomenal listen. So please take some time to do so. And thank you, Prerna, for spending some time with us.
Some of them are asking for the books. They're on my website, folks. I can't remember which one you. Oh, you're so sweet. Somebody's nominating me. Yay!
There we go. There we go. Thank you, Chris. We will make sure to connect you up with as well Prerna's everything. Prerna's website. Here we go. I've got all this. Her website, everything. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today, Prerna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye for now.
Enjoy, y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.